Hello, my dear friends. This is Wild Kate. Thank you for being with me and subscribing to my stories. I love you. This mystical story was told to me by a friend of mine a few years ago. Here's her story. I'm my mom's second. I have a brother 4 years older. My mom's labor was hard and long both times. But despite this, she remembered everything very accurately. As it was her second birth, she realized something was wrong when the doctor lifted me up to show me. My mom was terribly frightened and asked, "What's that hanging from her ears? Some kind of ropes, and why is she so brown?" The doctor laughed. She was young, almost like Mom, about 25, and said, "What are you doing, Mom? It's the ties from the bonnet on her head. And the brown one is the shirt. See, it looks like a cot. It's going to be a happy little girl." And at that time, an old midwife, about 50 years old, maybe more, took off the shirt and the bonnet, carefully put them in a bag, and took them away. Mom asked the doctor why she was doing this. The doctor waved her hand, saying that she had said that it was the first time she had ever worked there, so she wanted to keep it as a memento, because she was about to retire. Despite the predicted good fortune, I was a very sickly child. I spent most of my childhood in hospitals of various kinds. There was even a clinical death in the NICU when I was 4 years old. By the age of 10, I had a medical history as thick as an encyclopedia, and the diseases were mostly adult. One St. Petersburg professor, penetrated to my mother's request, the gift conducted a detailed examination, and the only thing that could advise to change the climate and hope for a transitional age, because no predisposition to diseases he does not see. My parents changed the climate, but as soon as we moved, I started having the same dream. As if I come to an ancient wardrobe, I open a thick sash with a department of shelves and take from one of them brown raspashanka, unfold, take the bonnet, look, and under it from the raspashanka, as if from the inside, look at me big eyes. Not human eyes. So huge, almond-shaped, then green, then red, then blue, shimmering, and from this insanely scary. I had this dream regularly and necessarily before I got sick. 2 or 3 months after the move, we went to visit one of my mother's distant relatives. She was very old, and as they said, many people in the village treated for all sorts of diseases. Mom was skeptical. But she did not say anything like that to Nusha, saying that she was old. Let her believe whatever she wanted. The main thing was kind. She treated everyone well, got along with everyone, had the right to whimsy. Mom herself, meanwhile, had an amazing intuition. She joked that it was because she was struck by ball lightning as a child. It's a fact, 3 days sat in pillows, not recognizing anyone, my grandfather told me. And now she can follow my brother and me from a distance. Anyway, this old lady, my mom's godmother, as it turned out, decided to communicate with me without my mom. I told her all about my dreams and all the illnesses I remembered. She walked around me for a long time with icons and candles, saying something quickly. Then she stopped, shook her head, and said, "Poor you, poor you. How much life she has dragged out of you?" I asked, "Who?" And she, as if she didn't hear me, said, "That's it, I'll go to the evening passion service today. Let God judge her." I was so scared I almost cried. I said, "Baba Nyesh, who are you talking about?" Then she answered me, "You had it all, my child, from the fact that an evil woman witched on your birth shirt." She didn't tell my mom anything about it, but I told her everything, of course, with details. Mom looked at me in surprise. Strange, how did she know about the shirt? By the way, she had never told anyone about the shirt, and I had only heard about it then. I didn't tell my mom about my dream. I didn't tell anyone. It's just that my mom doesn't take mysticism very well. She jokes about it. I think Baba Nusha went to that service, we stayed a little while and went to see other relatives. Because after that trip, I never once saw this stupid dream, although I remember it even now in colors. And for 4 years that we lived in the region, I never fell ill even once with a cold. Mom attributed this happiness solely to the miraculous pine forests. But even when we returned to the city, my illnesses did not return with me. No, of course, sometimes I catch a cold, sneeze and cough, but rarely. And I visited the hospital, which in my childhood was my home, for the first time 10 years later, for the birth of my first daughter. My mom believes the professor's words about the change of climate and the restructuring of the organism associated with the transition age. I believe in Baba Nusha and you.